Isn't there, about a drama on board a plane? Is it the claustrophobia or what is it?
You can't get off. Can't get off, you're stuck. We're going to be talking about this with household name, thanks to his role as Torrin Oakenshield in the epic Hobbit trilogy. This weekend, actor Richard Armitage is returning to our screens. There's a new 6-part Sunday night ITV thriller called Red Eye. Gives you a hint.
Yeah, following the case of a British doctor arrested on suspicion of murder upon landing London Heathrow Airport, has to go back to China. Enough, we must stop. Too much plot already, right?
Yeah, it doesn't all work out as you think it might.
Anything! Keep your hands up! Keep your hands where we can see them!
I've got him. All right, relax. Lots of cameras about. Get up! Your wound still hurting? You put it like that on the plane, and I will personally rip it open. Do we understand each other? Good. Right, let's go. Go on.
So Richard's with us now. Hello.
Hi.
Is that
Hi.
the most you've seen of this?
I've seen episode 1, yeah.
Why haven't you seen all of it?
I find it quite difficult to watch myself.
I've watched the first 2.
You've seen more than me.
It's good.
What happens? Can't wait to find out.
What do you think of it? I mean, it looks like fun, but it's pretty much set in one place.
It
well,
is.
I'm only in episode 2, but...
Yeah, it was one of the things that attracted me to the script, actually. I guess they refer to it as a locked-room drama where you're kind of confined to this space. I've been on so many long-haul flights, and you do go into a kind of no-man's land of what is going to happen during this sort of 12-hour flight, and a lot happens in this story.
Are you a good flyer?
I do a lot of work on an aeroplane, actually. I do a lot of writing.
So the question was, are you a nervous flyer?
Oh, a nervous
because
flyer.
Well, I said a
this
good flyer, I
plays
did
into
mean,
the
yeah.
whole thing. I mean, we're not going to give too much of the plot away,
Yeah.
but there's people on board and stuff happens.
Yes.
And it will play into people's minds as, you kind of look at people and go, do you do that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about this show is that Matthew Nolan gets arrested for...
The doctor who you play.
The doctor that I play. And he's being repatriated to China, accused of killing a Chinese national. He's being accompanied by D.I. Hannah Lee, played brilliantly by Jing Lucy. But when they get on the plane, terrible things start to happen, and he realises that he's at the centre of a terrible international conspiracy chaos.
So there's so much tension there. Could go back to you on a flight.
Yeah.
I mean, there's this thing, isn't there? People are scared of flying, or people say they're scared of flying. If you watch this, is this going to exacerbate those fears, or is it going to allay some fears?
You know, the first flight I did after filming, I did start to look around the plane going, there's parts of this aeroplane, the architecture of this plane, that I didn't know existed, like the crew quarters downstairs, which in our show turns into a kind of a morgue. But you're looking at, like, the little bathrooms and the little holes that people can kind of crawl in and out of. So there's this whole kind of labyrinth that happens on an aeroplane that I didn't have a clue about before.
Now, presumably, when because you've been in a lot of big movies, including, we mentioned before, the Hobbit trilogy, and you played, is it the King of the Dwarfs?
Torrin Oakenshield, yeah.
Torrin Oakenshield.
King of the Dwarfs.
Now, when you were flying out to New Zealand, presumably you go first class, do you?
You kind of go first or business, yeah. You've got a nice, comfortable seat.
That's all right, that's fine.
And are you there on board with all the other stars? Do you go out as a group, like everyone goes together?
No, individually. Although I did come back on one insane flight from Sydney with Lady Gaga was on the flight, and there was quite a lot of fuss about her. So
were you in the same?
I was in the same cabin, and I didn't have a clue that she was there. So that was interesting.
You didn't go up to her? Or...
No, but there was a drama going on in the cabin.
Oh, you mean there were discussions going on and stuff?
Yeah, you could.
And you being an actor, I bet you're.
I'm thinking there's something wrong, something going on with the plane. They're going to have to divert. Yeah.
OK, but it was all OK.
It was all fine.
And it's all safe and sound.
Yeah.
One of the joys about this drama is, of course, it has politics involved in it because it's China and all of that stuff. Were you on quite a big learning curve about all things sort of political in relation to, I don't know, it's MI6, isn't it, and politicians and all that stuff?
Yes, and the CIA. And what's interesting, and one of the things I loved about the story is it starts to tread quite a familiar path, but then takes a sort of a sharp swerve into an area that is unexpected. The bad guys are not the people that you expect.
Now, can I just say, this scene we're seeing here, and I think we've both seen it,
Yeah.
there is a frisking scene, is because you're being checked.
Frisking.
Is that the word? Is it frisk? Where you're checked
a
and you have
body
to
search,
you have to
isn't it?
strip
Yes, a
off
full
basically
body
because they
search.
do a full check to what's going on. Are you comfortable with that kind of thing?
Do you know what? My brother texted me yesterday and said, please tell me you don't take your clothes off again. And I was like, well, there is a strip search. I mean, I looked at it in the script and went, OK.
It's not that
You need
bad.
it for this story.
It's not that bad. You keep your pants on, don't
Keep
you?
my pants.
Do you think you must think about it? I know this sounds really trivial, but as an actor, you presumably think about that a bit. And it's just literally how it works relative to your character, because you're a doctor.
Yes, and it's quite important because something's revealed in that search which plays into the long story. So it's when it adds to the story, it's useful.
There's another scene where, and it's probably going to be part of the trailer, so we're not spoiling too much,
Yeah.
where you stand up in the middle of the airport. It's kind of where everyone's waiting, and you start asking everyone to film on their phones, which is actually a really kind of modern take on kind of making... This is it. Can you explain this scene? Because I just thought you would have had loads of extras in there, but this isn't actually what happened.
No, there was a small group of background artists just around me to make sure that nobody kind of rugby tackled me to the floor. But yeah, we were filming in a live airport full of people, and there were signs up saying filming was happening, but you get one or two goes at it before people start to realise. Normally you're filming something where you don't want people to spot you, whereas this was very different. He needed people's attention. And I do think some people put that scene on TikTok the same night, saying, there's a man being arrested at the airport. I think it's Richard Armitage for crimes against acting.
It's almost like art imitating life, imitating art,
but
etc.
it's very nerve-wracking. I mean, my heart was thumping at my chest, but...
Well, you've also got to worry that if you really worry someone there who takes it seriously.
Yeah, you have to be quite mindful of not traumatising the general public, but...
You said you do your writing on the plane.
Yeah.
And you're writing at the moment, and isn't one of your books being turned into a drama?
Yes, the first book that was released on audio and print last year has been optioned to be turned into a TV drama.
So, as an actor, having played a leading role, are you going to put yourself up for it?
I think it takes quite a long time for these things to happen, so I might well be too old to be in my own thing. But
How long are you expecting it to take?
It can take 5 to 10 years to get a piece into action. I might be retired by then.
That's nice.
You know, you were saying about getting recognised in that clip. Do people recognise you from your role in The Hobbit?
No.
That just doesn't... That never happens?
No, and I think...
So you look kind of familiar, can't quite place...
Yeah, there was so much prosthetic and sort of wig, and obviously he's a little chap.
Shorter in stature, clearly.
Yeah, so I think they recognise my voice probably more than my face. But no, this was...
Happy memories looking back at that?
Incredible, life-changing. Yeah, I never thought somebody like me from where I came from would get to be in such a huge franchise.
How tall are you?
6'3".
So when you're filming these scenes and you're all supposed to be small, and there are some who are small, how did that work? Just very clever angles? Or...
They actually made us a bit wider and bigger so that when we were shrunk, we didn't look like children. We looked like a different kind of race of being, because dwarves are a specific race. So, yeah, it was interesting. A lot of CGI.
Lovely to see you here this morning.
Thanks
Thank you so much. Enjoy your next flight.
Thank you.
If this causes you problems next time you fly, it might. What can you say? That's drama for you.
Yeah, well, we're in safe hands. That's all I know.
Yeah. Red Eye, it's called. It's on tomorrow, ITV1, 9 p.m.